Just when it looked like things were finally falling into place for Rangers this summer, the club has been dealt a gut punch that's left supporters frustrated, and the board scratching their heads behind all the optimism and the steady buzz growing around Ibrox. One move that had seemed to be nearing completion completely collapsed, exposing once again just how tough it is to rebuild a squad that's expected to compete both domestically and in Europe. This isn't just a missed transfer, it's a reminder of the razor thin margins and rising expectations that come with trying to take Rangers back to the top. So what exactly happened? Why did a deal that had fans dreaming suddenly vanish into thin air? It all started with Owen Beck, the young Welsh fullback who made quite an impression during his loan spell at Dundee. His performances didn't go unnoticed. Quick, sharp, composed, and intelligent on the ball, Beck seemed tailor-made for the kind of aggressive, high-energy football Russell Martin wants to implement. There was genuine belief within the Rangers camp that Beck would be the perfect solution on the left flank, a position that has cried out for consistency and dynamism in recent times. With talks progressing well, many felt it was only a matter of time before the paperwork was signed, the shirt was held aloft, and Beck was officially announced as the club's latest signing. But in football, timing and ambition are everything. And just as Rangers thought they had their man, Derby County swooped in with an offer that Beck and Liverpool simply couldn't turn down. Despite the appeal of European nights at Ibrox, the pull of regular football in the EFL Championship under a clear development plan aimed at eventually breaking into Liverpool's first team proved too strong. Derby acted decisively with a concrete proposal and a clear pitch to the player. Rangers, caught flat-footed in that final stretch, were left empty-handed. For supporters, it's a bitter one to take, not just because Beck looked like such a good fit, but because it highlighted once again the increasing difficulty Scottish clubs face when going up against ambitious English sides, especially those willing to spend promised minutes and offer a clearer path to the top of the English game. Beck wasn't just another name on a short list. He was a key target identified early, pursued with purpose, and then lost when it mattered most. Russell Martin now finds himself back at square one regarding the left-back position, and with the new season fast approaching, time is running out to find a quality alternative. The issue isn't just about plugging a hole, it's about finding the right profile, someone who can contribute immediately but also grow into the role and potentially bring in a return in the future. The missed opportunity with Beck stings more because it felt like such a natural fit. The scouting was on point, the interest was mutual, the pathway was clear, and still it slipped through the fingers. While the Beck saga dominated headlines, it wasn't the only major storyline swirling around Ibrox in the past 24 hours. On the pitch, there was at least something for the supporters to celebrate. Rangers secured an important win over Panathinaikos in the second qualifying round of the Champions League, with young Finlay Curtis grabbing the spotlight. The 19-year-old winger, a surprise inclusion in the starting 11, not only held his own but broke the deadlock with his first senior goal, announcing himself on the European stage in style. What made the night even more special was who was in the stands. Sir Alex Ferguson, the legendary Scottish manager and former Manchester United boss, was present and reportedly made his way to the dressing room after the match to speak directly to Curtis. That kind of moment is priceless. For a young player just starting out, hearing words of encouragement from someone like Sir Alex could be career-defining. Russell Martin was clearly moved by the gesture, telling the press afterward that moments like these can shape a player's mentality. He was quick to praise Curtis, not just for his performance, but for his character and willingness to learn, key traits for anyone hoping to make it at a club like Rangers. Martin also acknowledged that Curtis had a shaky first half, which is understandable given the magnitude of the occasion. But what impressed the manager most was how the youngster responded after the interval, taking on feedback, applying it, and ultimately making a difference in the match. These are the kinds of steps every young player needs to take, and with a bit of guidance both from the coaching staff and legends of the game, Curtis might just be one to watch as the season progresses. Still, even with these moments of promise on the pitch, there's an undeniable tension off it. Another transfer saga is heating up, and this one involves one of Rangers' own breakout stars, Hamza Igamane. The 22-year-old Moroccan forward has made waves since arriving in Glasgow, catching the eye with a string of impressive displays. Naturally, interest from abroad has followed. League One side Lille had already been sniffing around, but now Feyenoord have entered the race, reportedly willing to put serious money on the table to secure his services. From a business standpoint, the situation is delicate. Rangers have committed to a player trading model by young, develop, sell at a profit. And in Igamane's case, that plan seems to have worked perfectly so far. Picked up at a bargain from ISR, his market value has soared after less than a full season. The idea of cashing in now, especially if a double-digit £1 million offer lands on the table, makes sense in theory, but theory doesn't always align with the reality on the ground. Martin has been clear he still counts on Igamain for the upcoming Champions League clash against Panathinaikos. But behind the scenes, there's a growing feeling that holding on to the player too long could backfire. Former striker Chris Boyd has already warned that keeping unhappy players around is a recipe for dressing room unrest. Players these days hold a lot of power, and if someone like Igamain feels his shot at a big move is being blocked, that energy can shift quickly. Feyenoord, for their part, seem serious. Reports suggest they're even willing to break their transfer record to get the deal done. That kind of commitment paired with Champions League football and a strong development setup could be a tempting proposition for Igamain. If Rangers are truly considering a sale, the key will be ensuring there's a plan in place to replace him, not just for the long term but immediately. Selling a starter without a backup ready to go would be a massive risk at this stage of the season. And to complicate matters even further, another attacker could be on his way out. Cyril Dessers is reportedly being tracked by AEK Athens, and a move might materialize before the window shuts. That would leave Rangers without two of their main attacking options right as the season starts to ramp up. Sporting director Kevin Thelwell now finds himself under growing pressure to deliver. The transfer market waits for no one, and fans have shown little patience when it comes to excuses. While there's still time to bring in the right pieces, every day counts. Rangers can't afford another high-profile miss like Beck, not if they want to stay competitive on all fronts. The rebuild is very much underway, but the margin for error is narrowing with each passing week. Every signing, every decision, every bit of hesitation matters now. Supporters want action. They want ambition matched by execution. And after a summer of hope, the next few weeks will go a long way in determining whether this project is truly heading in the right direction or if it's just another case of what could have been. And while all eyes are fixed on what comes next in the transfer window, there's a growing sense that Rangers' recruitment strategy is now entering a pivotal phase. The initial signs of promise with early additions raising expectations are beginning to clash with the realities of an unpredictable market. Names are being linked left and right, but fans are no longer content with rumors. They want confirmed signings, proven quality, and players who are ready to make an impact from day one. That's the challenge facing Russell Martin and his team. Right now, every signing needs to be strategic. Every gap in the squad needs to be filled with intent. The club doesn't just need warm bodies, they need players with the mentality, talent, and hunger to take this project to the next level. Rangers have made it clear that they're trying to build something sustainable. But with the pressure of Champions League qualifiers and a domestic campaign where margins will be tight, the balance between long-term planning and short-term success is more delicate than ever. Supporters remember all too well the sting of missed opportunities in recent windows. Whether it's players who were brought in and failed to deliver or targets that slipped away at the last minute, the margin for error simply doesn't exist anymore. The Beck situation hurt not just because of the player's profile, but because it represented a wider concern about Rangers' ability to compete in an aggressive, fast-moving transfer landscape, where English clubs, even in the second tier now, have the resources and infrastructure to outbid, outnegotiate, and outposition Scottish giants. That reality is hard to ignore. In previous eras, the promise of European football and the chance to wear the blue shirt of Rangers was often enough to seal a deal. Now players are looking at game time, career development, salary, and exposure, all things that clubs like Derby County can now offer with compelling clarity. It's not about history anymore, it's about opportunity. And until Rangers can consistently demonstrate that they can provide both, they'll keep losing these battles. But this isn't a time to dwell, it's a time to respond. Russell Martin is known for his calm demeanor and his belief in building something with a strong foundation. That attitude will be tested now more than ever. He'll need to show decisiveness in the coming weeks, identifying not just the right players, but the right personalities, guys who understand what it means to play at Ibrox, who thrive under pressure, and who aren't just using the club as a stepping stone. The good news is that there are still options out there. The market remains open, and Rangers have already shown they can move quickly when the right deal presents itself. But with each passing day, the urgency builds. Every match played without the necessary reinforcements adds strain. Every time a rival strengthens, the pressure on the board to deliver intensifies. This isn't just about depth, it's about building a squad that can win now, while also developing talent for the future. And speaking of talent, let's go back to Finlay Curtis for a moment. What he showed against Panathinaikos wasn't just skill, it was maturity, bravery, and a hunger to make his mark. His celebration, the look on his face, the way his teammates reacted, it all told a story of a player who has been waiting for his chance and grab it with both hands. Moments like these are gold dust for a club trying to balance immediate results with a longer-term vision. The question now is whether Curtis can build on this, maintain his momentum, and force his way into regular contention. That's where Martin and his staff will be crucial. Managing young players in the modern game is as much about psychology as it is about tactics. One great night can set a player up for success, but only if the support system is strong, the messaging is clear, and the expectations are managed. That's especially true in Glasgow, where the highs are euphoric and the lows can be brutal. Curtis is already being talked about as the next big thing. It's up to the club now to ensure that he's developed the right way and that his breakout doesn't become a burden. On the other end of the scale, you've got players like Iguain, young, yes, but already seasoned, already drawing interest from clubs across Europe. Rangers are walking a tightrope with him. If they sell, they need to nail the replacement. If they keep him, they need to keep him engaged, focused, and hungry. These are the kinds of dilemmas that define a summer. One misstep can derail an entire season. Feyenoord's approach complicates things even further. They're not just a club looking to buy talent, they're a Champions League-level team. With a proven track record of developing and selling players at a profit, they can offer Iguain the next step in his career. And with money on the table, pressure from agents, and ambitions pulling in different directions, Rangers are going to have to make a very clear decision very soon. And then there's the looming uncertainty around Cyril Dessers. If AEK Athens follow through on their interest, it leaves another major hole up front. Dessers has had a mixed time at Ibrox, but his experience and physical presence are hard to replace. Losing him combined with the potential sale of Iguain would force Rangers to completely rework their attacking options with very little time to do it. The recruitment team knows this. They're already working on contingency plans. But identifying targets and landing them are two very different things. This is where leadership counts. Russell Martin has been handed the keys to a squad in transition. His message from day one has been clear. He wants a team that plays brave, possession-based football. He wants control, intensity, and character, but to do that he needs the right tools. And right now there are still pieces missing. Whether it's a left back to replace the missed Beck deal, a new centre forward in case Dessers leaves, or midfield reinforcements to bring more balance and depth, the squad is not yet complete. The supporters feel it too. There's excitement, sure, but also anxiety. No one wants to see this season start with glaring holes in the squad. The early qualifiers in Europe are unforgiving. One bad night can end a campaign before it even begins. And on the domestic front, with rivals strengthening and no room for complacency, Rangers can't afford to fall behind. That's why the next few weeks are so crucial. Every decision made now will echo throughout the rest of the season. The transfer window is a test not just of scouting and negotiation, but of vision, timing, and boldness. The board has backed Martin so far, but now comes the moment to truly deliver. Because this isn't just about getting back to the top, it's about staying there. It's about building something that lasts, and while there are bound to be bumps along the road, one thing is certain: the fans are watching. The margin for error is smaller than ever. The expectations are clear. And with every signing that comes or doesn't come, that pressure only grows. Still, in all of this, there's belief. Belief that Curtis might just be the real deal. Belief that the right players are out there waiting to be brought in. Belief that with the right moves, this squad can be something special. That belief has carried Rangers through tougher times before. But now belief needs to be backed up by action. The clock is ticking and the future is being written right now. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers are growing louder across the Scottish football landscape, as murmurs suggest Chelsea owner Todd Boehly could be casting his ambitious eye north of the border. With Glasgow Rangers in his sights, the American billionaire, who led the consortium that acquired Chelsea in 2022, is no stranger to bold investments. And if the latest talk is to be believed, he may be plotting his next major footballing move in the heart of Ibrox. While nothing has been confirmed and the club itself has yet to comment, sources close to the situation hint that Boehly and his business partners are intrigued by the potential of the Rangers brand. With a massive global fan base, a rich European history, and fierce domestic rivalry with Celtic, the Light Blues would represent a tantalizing addition to any portfolio. aiming to dominate multiple corners of the football world. Some observers point to Boehly's known interest in multi-club ownership models, following the likes of City Football Group and Red Bull's expansive network. Adding a storied club like Rangers to his empire could offer not just a strategic foothold in British football outside the Premier League, but also access to European competition and a thriving commercial scene. Still, such a move wouldn't be without its challenges. Rangers fans are notoriously passionate and protective of the club's heritage, and any hint of foreign ownership often brings mixed reactions. Questions would arise over governance, influence, and the direction of the club under new stewardship. Would Boehly respect the club's traditions? Could this mean an influx of Chelsea-linked talent arriving in Govan? Or perhaps even a financial boost to finally bridge the gap with Celtic? Both on and off the pitch, insiders maintain that talks, if they are happening, are in very early stages, with no formal offer made. But as the old saying goes, there's rarely smoke without fire. Whether Boehly's interest will materialize into a full-blown bid remains to be seen. But the rumor mill is churning, and Ibrox could soon find itself at the center of a transatlantic football shake-up. Greetings, fans! Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.